Analyzing Conversations as Formative Assessment Practice. Hi there, this is Sarah Rutherford-Kwok again, and in this video, I'm going to review and dig deeper into how analyzing student-to-student conversations is a type of formative assessment practice, or part of the formative assessment process. This is an important topic as you'll be engaging in this exact activity in this session's assignment. And to do this, I'm going to lean heavily on an interview that I did a couple of years ago with Margaret Heritage, who we will consult with as an expert on formative assessment throughout the course, referring to her interviews and later reading an article she wrote. But first, a little bit of context on Margaret. Margaret is a senior scientist at WestEd who leads the Assessment and Accountability Center work. Prior to that, she was the Assistant Director for Professional Development at the National Center on Evaluation, Research, Standards, and Student Testing, or CREST, which is at UCLA. Margaret was also part of the original leadership here at Understanding Language. And while Margaret's focus is obviously on formative assessment and the use of data within formative assessment, she is also concerned with the development and assessment of academic language, particularly with respect to English learners. And in this video, she provides insight into why analyzing conversations is an important aspect of formative assessment, the role of teachers before and during these interactions, and what to listen for during conversations. But before we dig deeper into these topics, let's revisit the original question we posed in the previous session. What is formative assessment? In this course, we will primarily talk about formative assessment as a process that consists of 4 distinct components: clarify intended learning, elicit evidence, act on evidence, and interpret evidence. But there are also other ways to describe formative assessment. And in Margaret's work, she often refers to formative assessment as a set of learning and teaching practices that assist teachers and students to understand where students are in relation to specific learning goals while they're in the process of learning. And to reiterate, formative assessment is not a test at the end of a sequence of learning, but instead a means for teachers and students to understand how learning and language are developing. And analyzing what students say, and particularly student-to-student conversations, is an important aspect of formative assessment because what students say is a way of externalizing their thinking. Margaret succinctly explains the concept like this.
So Patrick Griffin, a scholar from Australia, talks about students externalizing their thinking through what they say, do, make, or write. And so observation of what they say, do, make, or write becomes a key dimension in gathering evidence of student thinking. Externalizing thinking through what students say, do, make, or write means that what they say is going to be an important aspect of formative assessment.
And the role of the teacher before and during student-to-student conversations is twofold. First, teachers must structure opportunities for students to participate in substantive conversations while engaged in rich subject matter learning. And second, teachers need to listen closely to what students are saying and how they are saying it during conversations. And in this course, we will focus on both of these: listening and analyzing student conversations and structuring conversational opportunities. But just listening to student conversations is not enough. Teachers also need to know what to listen for. And while what to listen for will depend on the specific context of a conversation, Margaret identifies 3 important things to listen for during student-to-student conversations: externalized thinking, the language in which thinking is expressed, and conversational pragmatics.
They're trying to access thinking, and they're also listening to the language in which that thinking is expressed. And also the pragmatics of how students are able to interact with each other, because we know that collaboration is an important part of learning, and listening to each other, building on each other's ideas, responding to each other is an important aspect of learning. And so teachers are also focused on listening to the pragmatics. Do children actually understand turn-taking? Can they build on ideas? Are they listening attentively? Are they building those skills that enable them to learn with and from each other?
And this is where the conversation analysis tool comes in, to help teachers listen more purposefully and carefully to student-to-student conversations, particularly with respect to conversational pragmatics, how students are using language to build on each other's turns and develop ideas related to target learning and language. And in the next few videos, you'll learn how to use the conversation analysis tool as you prepare for assignment 2.